It is a beautiful day once again with Chris Mulcahy now in here in the Live Impact studio. And, keep it going, although it's still kind of dry out there.
Yeah, super dry. I'm not sure if anyone still has the dry hands or skin.
I do.
Yeah, I feel especially with my hands. Anyone?
My hands, my eyes.
Oh, yeah, my throat today. But yeah, this is a problem that we usually have during the wintertime. But that's where dew points are my favorite thing to bring up in the forecast all the time, because the lower they are, the drier it is. The higher they are, the more humid it is. So it's a perfect threshold. And we'll get to that in 1 second. But let's get to our headlines, y'all. Here we go. Fire danger all week long. Now, the biggest thing about this is all you have to do is not burn things, and then it's no issue. It's super dry. That oftentimes, even when you don't have any big time rains, or if it's just dry in general, the biggest issue is when there's a lack of moisture in the air. And that's exactly what we're having. If our hands are cracking, then the chance of any fire getting out of control is definitely off the charts. And especially the windier it is today, maybe a gust of 20 miles per hour. So if you're talking about gusts of 30, that's even higher. But this is also another term that we don't usually use for November: riding on the heat wave. Now, heat wave technically we usually think is when you have multiple days in the 90s, but the true definition is when you have an exemplary run of days that's well above the norm. And we should be averaging the lower 60s this time of year. I'm talking about the mid to the upper 70s for close to a week, which is unheard of and rare for this time of year, to say the least. And then we have a rain chance this weekend. So first, I want to start off with this little factoid. Through 17 days of November, we've averaged 68 degrees. That's the 26th warmest set of highs that we've had through that many days in November in Charlotte history. Truly, if we didn't have the two bottom numbers here, the one day in the 50s and one high in the 40s, this could be likely one of the warmest Novembers we had on record. It's just that we dropped down so much. So we actually had 9 days in the 70s, 6 days in the 60s, and today is honestly going to be close enough to that mark that we're going to be right on the cusp between 60 and 70 degrees. And then we have pretty much majority 70s to end the month of November, but it does get cooler by Thanksgiving. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Our fire danger is at an orange. That's a very high level just because of how dry it is. Eventually, we're going to see that drier air that is going to eventually try to erode out of here, but for the time being, it is definitely going to be on the drier side. Trying to bring up that little dew point chart. Hold on, I got a little frozenness going on. Here we go. Let's try this again. This is really just showing that we're going to be in that middle ground, which is nice. It's still really pleasant whenever you have the blues. That's that dry to pleasant, tolerable air. Once you get above 60, it starts feeling a little sticky. And the crazy thing is, on Saturday, we're almost closer to that mark than where we typically are this time of year, which is more in the 40s. So yeah, we almost have some borderline humid air arriving on Saturday, and that's going to keep us warm, and it's also going to keep some of our lows on the warmer side as well. So jumping right to it, we so far this morning already hit our low about 37 degrees, but we've wasted no time. We're already up to 51 degrees and 50 degrees right around the Rock Hill area and Lancaster, and then we'll be back to the upper 60s by the time the kiddos are getting off the bus around 3 o'clock or beforehand. I have a high of 69 today just because they have that cloud cover that is going to increase. So presto changeo. The big changes today are, one, the clouds. You're going to notice it. Right now we almost have a perfectly clear sky. Soon you'll start to see some upper level clouds, and then boom, before you know it, you're going to have a more overcast sky. I think this is the type of scenario that you almost have those milky clouds. You can still see where the sun is. That will likely happen a little bit later on. And then our morning low, we already hit it. That was our coldest morning that we're going to have for the foreseeable future, and our high is getting warmer really each day over the next couple. This morning we dropped down to 37 degrees. That ties for the third coldest in November that we've had so far. But then look where we're going. This is incredible. 49, 51, 61. So just like what we had this past Sunday, we're going to start off in the 60s. But unlike Sunday, I don't think you're going to hit your low temperature around midnight. So that actually could verify. Temperatures still rocking the mid 70s, potentially dropping down to the 50s by the evening. And after that, we still have mainly the 40s. Put in this perspective, we should be around 39 to 37 degrees during the next 10 days of November. So that is astronomical. Here's what our futurecast looks like. we're starting to increase those upper level clouds, as I mentioned. That's why I think that you have some cirrostratus clouds that literally just kind of turns the sky from blue to more of a whitish color where you can see where the sun is. Once that's down in the mid levels, that's called an altostratus. We could see those as well, but still a mix of cloud and sunshine to more of a milkier sky. Nothing that's completely overcast, in my opinion. And then through the overnight, our next best chance for rain is only in the mountains and north of I-40. A lot of this fades out, as you can see, not really affecting the Charlotte area besides maybe a sprinkle, not even really a trace, and then on and off clouds expected through your Wednesday heading into Thursday. The best chance for rain in the near term, though, for all of us, including Charlotte, is Friday night heading into Saturday. And beyond that, there's going to be another surge that arrives right around the Thanksgiving time frame. And as of right now, I think that you could have some morning rain on Thanksgiving. Now, this is still 10 days out. A lot can change. All it has to do is change 1 degree and it could miss us, or it could speed up 2 miles per hour and it could arrive on Tuesday to Wednesday. So there's still a lot that can change with this, but we are trending towards a wetter middle of next week. So our futurecast, you can see by 10 p.m. on Friday, here comes the rain. The biggest question mark that I'm seeing with this is how much the dry air is going to affect this. That I think that you have on and off rain chances realistically throughout your Saturday, but there's a good chance that a lot of this doesn't even reach the surface or there's more breaks in the action. I just want you tentatively to prepare for maybe a cloudier and at times a few periods of rain on your Saturday compared to your Sunday, where it's mainly just some clouds. Then by the middle of the week, here is that Thanksgiving system I was talking about. What's interesting about this is, let's see if I can zoom out. I think I might be able to. Let's see. The thing with this time frame is, it's a problem. I'm dealing with a laptop with tiny windows. It's right in this time frame that you're actually seeing a big time system. Here we go. This technically is a classic comma cloud, so that is showing that a lot of rain and instability could be coming with this. That usually means that east of the Mississippi, sometimes it can be some thunderstorms that appear from this, especially if it's warm enough. And then the top of it, oftentimes you can have either a developing rain snow line or some snow in general. So what this is doing is it shows that we have widespread rain potential on Wednesday heading into Thursday. Again, the timing could change and it could miss Thanksgiving entirely, or it could rain all Thanksgiving. So there's something that I want people to kind of keep track of, especially if you have that annual outdoor football game. But if you're just going to be inside cooking and eating, this isn't really a big bother to you at all, then maybe that's the day that you want it to rain. Our 7-day forecast, brought to you by the Jerry Hunt Super Center, shows that we're going to see that zoom up to 77 on Wednesday, lower to the mid-70s after that. But since we can include Thanksgiving, let's extend this to our 10-day. You can see that once we have a front that starts to roll through Monday into Tuesday, we're back to the lower to the mid-60s where we should be. But all in all, this is still trending to be a very warm next 7+ days of November. So let the warmer times roll.
All right, let's bring it. Enjoy it while we can, certainly.
For sure.
All right, thank you, Chris.